The first letter appeared under my door on a Tuesday morning, and it was addressed to someone who died in my apartment 3 years before I moved in. I know because I Googled the name. Eleanor Pritchard, 67. Found deceased in Unit 4B after neighbors reported a smell. Natural causes. No next of kin. The landlord never mentioned it during the showing, but I found the obituary 2 weeks after signing the lease. The envelope was cream-colored, expensive-looking, with my apartment number written in elegant cursive. No return address. No stamp. Just, Eleanor Pritchard, apartment 4B, for her eyes only. I should have thrown it away. I should have marked it "Return to Sender" and left it in the lobby. Instead, I opened it. The letter inside was handwritten on matching cream stationery, dated that same morning, and it read, "Eleanor, I know what you did in the winter of 1987. I know about the car. I know about the bridge. I know you told everyone it was an accident, but we both know the truth. You have 1 week to confess, or I'll make sure the whole world knows what you really are. This is your last chance to do the right thing." No signature. No indication of who sent it. I stood in my kitchen holding this letter addressed to a dead woman, threatening her about something that happened nearly 40 years ago. My first thought was that it was a prank, some sick joke. But the paper felt too expensive, the handwriting too careful. Someone had taken time with this. I posted about it on my neighborhood forum. Weird letter delivered to wrong address. Anyone missing mail? No responses. I tried finding Eleanor's family, but the obituary confirmed she had none. I even called the post office. They had no record of any delivery to my building that morning. Thursday, another letter appeared. Same cream envelope, same handwriting. Slid under my door sometime during the night. "Eleanor, your silence is telling. I saw you at the grocery store yesterday, buying those same butter cookies you always loved. You looked right through me like you always do. 5 days left. The police might be interested in what I have to say. Or maybe I'll start with your neighbors. Would you like them to know?" My hands trembled as I read it. This wasn't just some misdirected mail. Someone thought Eleanor was still alive. Someone thought she was me. Or someone was pretending to think that. I checked my security camera footage, the cheap wireless one I'd installed above my door. Nothing. No one had approached my apartment between midnight and 6 a.m. when I found the letter. It was like the envelope had materialized out of nothing. I went to the grocery store mentioned in the letter. The manager pulled up their records from Wednesday. I had been there. 3:47 p.m. I'd bought milk, bread, and a pack of butter cookies I didn't remember picking up. They were still in my pantry, unopened. I hate butter cookies. The third letter came Saturday. "Eleanor, I followed you to the park today. You sat on our bench, the one by the pond. Do you think about her when you're there? Do you remember how she used to feed the ducks? She'd still be alive if it weren't for you. 3 days. The truth is coming whether you confess or not." I hadn't been to any park. I'd been home all day working on my laptop. But when I checked my phone's location history, there it was. A 2-hour gap at Riverside Park, 12 miles away, during the exact time I thought I'd been answering emails at my kitchen table. I have no memory of going there. No memory of driving. No memory of sitting on any bench. But my car had 13 additional miles on it, and there was a parking receipt from Riverside Park in my cup holder, timestamped 2:18 p.m. That night, I started researching Eleanor Pritchard obsessively. I found old yearbooks, census records, newspaper archives. She'd lived in this apartment for 43 years. She'd worked as a librarian. Never married. No children. Few friends. A quiet life that ended quietly. But in 1987, there was a small article buried in the local paper. A car accident on Route 9, near the old bridge. A woman named Catherine Voss, 34, drove off the road in icy conditions. Her car went through the guardrail and into the river. She drowned before anyone could reach her. The article mentioned that another car had been involved. Someone had called it in, but that driver left the scene. Police investigated but never filed charges. They ruled it an accident. Catherine Voss had a daughter. I found her name in the obituary. Sarah Voss, age 8. Sunday's letter was longer. Eleanor, do you remember the ice that night? How your car bumped hers? You could have stopped. You could have helped. But you drove away and called from a payphone 2 miles down the road, pretending you just witnessed it. The police believed you. Everyone believed you. But I was 8 years old, Eleanor. And I remember my mother's car spinning. I remember the headlights behind her. I remember your license plate because I just learned to read, and I'd been practicing with car plates all week. I told the police, but they said kids make mistakes. They said I was traumatized and confused. But I wasn't confused, Eleanor. It was you. It's always been you. My blood went cold. Sarah Voss would be 46 now. She thought Eleanor was still alive. She'd been waiting 38 years for this confrontation. But Eleanor was dead. And somehow these letters kept coming to me. Monday morning I found the 5th letter. But this one was different. The handwriting was shaky, desperate. I saw you at the cemetery yesterday. You were standing at my mother's grave. Why would you go there, Eleanor? Why now, after all these years? Are you finally feeling guilty? It's too late for guilt. 2 days left. I pulled up my location history again. Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., Oakwood Cemetery. I had no memory of it. But when I checked my car, there was dirt on my shoes. Cemetery dirt. And in my coat pocket, a small stone. The kind people leave on graves. I was terrified. Not of Sarah Voss, but of myself. Of the gaps in my memory. Of the things I was apparently doing without knowing. Was I having blackouts? Fugue states? Was I somehow channeling a dead woman's guilt? Tuesday, the 6th letter. Eleanor, I'm giving you one more chance. Meet me tomorrow at midnight on the Route 9 bridge. The same bridge where you killed my mother. Come alone. If you don't show, I'm going to the police with everything. I have evidence. I've always had evidence. But I wanted to give you the chance to face me first. To explain why you destroyed my life and walked away. I should have called the police right then. But what would I tell them? That I was receiving letters addressed to a dead woman? That I was apparently going places with no memory of it? That I might be losing my mind? Instead, I did something else. I went to the library archives and found Eleanor's old personnel file. In her emergency contact section, there was a name I hadn't seen before, Sarah Voss, listed as neighbor, friend. Eleanor and Sarah had known each other. They'd lived in the same building. Sarah had been her friend, or at least her contact, right up until Eleanor's death. I went through my building's rental history. Sarah Voss had lived here too, apartment 2A. She'd moved out 6 months after Eleanor died. And then I found something that made my stomach drop. Sarah Voss had signed Eleanor's death certificate. She'd been the one who found the body. She'd been the one who called the authorities. I pulled up Eleanor's autopsy report through a Freedom of Information request. Natural causes, it said. Heart failure. But there was a note in the margin, barely legible. Witness reported deceased appeared to have died several days prior. Delayed discovery due to social isolation. Sarah had waited days before reporting it. Days while Eleanor's body decomposed in this apartment, the apartment I now slept in. Wednesday, I didn't receive a letter. Instead, I woke up at 11 p.m. fully dressed, standing in my living room with car keys in my hand. My phone showed I'd set an alarm for 11:30 p.m. I had no memory of doing that. I checked the door. It was unlocked. I'd apparently been about to leave. And then I realized I was supposed to be at the bridge at midnight. Something in me was going. Some part of me that wasn't me was compelling me to go to that bridge and face Sarah Voss, to answer for sins I didn't commit, for a life I never lived. I locked the door. I sat on my couch. I waited for whatever was going to happen next. At 12:47 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Silence. Then breathing. Then a voice. Cracked and ancient. Why didn't you come? It wasn't Sarah's voice. I'd found a video of her online from a community meeting. This voice was older, raspier. Who is this? You know who this is, Sarah. You've always known. My blood froze. I'm not Sarah. My name is. You're in my apartment. You've been living my life. sleeping in my bed, walking my routes, going to my places. Did you think I wouldn't notice? Did you think death means forgetting? The line went dead. I sat there in the darkness of apartment 4B, and I finally understood. The letters weren't for Eleanor. They were from Eleanor. She'd been writing them to Sarah, who'd moved in here after her death, who'd somehow gotten trapped in the same patterns, the same guilt, the same loop of confession and accusation that had consumed Eleanor's last years. And now I was living in that loop too, going to the places they'd gone, buying the things they'd bought, becoming them one day at a time, pulled into a cycle of guilt and revenge that predated my existence here. I moved out the next morning, broke my lease, lost my deposit. I didn't care. But here's what I can't explain. 3 weeks later, I found another cream-colored envelope slipped under the door of my new apartment, 15 miles away. It was addressed to me, my real name, my new address, and inside, in that same elegant handwriting, you can't escape what happened in 1987. Geography doesn't erase guilt. We need to talk about the bridge. I've never been to that bridge in my life. But yesterday, I found a parking receipt in my car from Route 9, and I'm starting to forget what I did last Tuesday.